I want you to visualize a modern civilian operating in today's economy. Let's call him Mark. Mark is a guy who considers himself highly efficient. He's focused on productivity. To optimize his precious time, Mark has automated his entire financial life. The power bill is on autopay. The gym membership is deducted from the credit card. The 4 movie streaming services, the 2 music apps, the premium food delivery tier, the artificial intelligence software, the photo cloud storage, and the bank account maintenance fee. All of this operates silently in the dark. Mark wakes up in the morning, drinks his coffee, and feels like he has absolute control over his empire. He thinks, I am a master of efficiency. My money works on autopilot. What Mark doesn't know, and what the corporate machine spends billions of dollars in behavioral engineering to ensure he never finds out, is that he is not on autopilot. He is in a financial coma. On the surface, Mark doesn't have massive gambling debts or destructive addictions. He isn't buying sports cars in cash. But in the invisible trenches of his bank statement, Mark is falling victim to the vampire economy. He is not losing his net worth in huge battles or dramatic explosions. He is bleeding to death through 1,000 tiny paper cuts of $15, $20, or $30 a month. Cuts that he approved years ago, that he forgot even exist, and that corporations continue to tear open every single month with the precision of a surgical scalpel. In today's economy, you no longer buy the ownership of things. You rent access to them. The Western market discovered that it is infinitely more profitable to turn you into a lifelong rent payer than to sell you a definitive product. They sell you convenience to hide the handcuffs. I am Buck. And today, I am going to prove to you why automated convenience is the greatest logistical fraud ever invented to keep you in poverty. I'm going to pop the hood on neuroscience to show you how companies hack your brain so you forget you are being charged. And most importantly, I'm going to hand you the lethal doctrine of the 48-hour financial hard reset, a brute force protocol designed to annihilate all your capital outflows, reduce your inertia to zero, and force your mind to reevaluate the utility of every single dollar that leaves your vault. The rescue operation has begun. For you to be able to staunch a hemorrhage, you first need to understand the anatomy of the weapon that caused the wound. The global subscription industry, the infamous subscription economy, is not based on delivering continuous value. It is engineered down to the millimeter upon a documented and predictable flaw in human biology, psychological inertia, and loss aversion. Let's dissect the process. When you sign up for a new streaming service or productivity app for $19 a month, your primate brain calculates the weight of that transaction only at the initial instant, at the moment you type in the card numbers. In that single, isolated second, you feel the pain of pain. Your brain rationalizes the exchange. But in the second month, the third month, the 10th month, because the charge has become invisible and automated on your credit card statement, your brain simply turns off the security alarm. The neural region called the insula, responsible for processing physical pain and the pain of financial loss, is literally anesthetized. The money leaks from your supply base, and you feel absolutely nothing. The corporate system purposely excised the logistical friction of having to approve the purchase every month to guarantee your total passivity. Leaked internal reports and data from massive tech corporations reveal a terrifying scenario. Depending on the service, between 30% to 40% of all trillion-dollar revenue for a subscription company derives purely from ghost subscribers. Do you know what a ghost subscriber is in their technical language? It is a civilian individual who hasn't logged in, hasn't consumed a single byte of data, and hasn't used the service in over 6 consecutive months, but who continues to pay the monthly fee with real money. Why? Simply because the purposeful bureaucracy, human laziness, and the friction of having to remember passwords to cancel the service seem like too much work for a weekend. Publicly traded corporations bank on your daily mental fatigue and your chronic forgetfulness to fund their shareholders' dividends. They turned your Friday night exhaustion into a billion-dollar business model, and this is where we must invoke the cold, merciless math of opportunity cost. The anesthetized civilian looks at their own statement, swipes their finger on the screen, and argues with themselves. Listen, Buck, it's just 15 bucks here for a music app I don't open. 30 bucks there for software I forgot to cancel. 12 bucks for cloud storage and 40 bucks for a wine club. What's the big deal? That's not going to bankrupt me. I make good money. That mathematical arrogance is exactly the lie that keeps the middle class chained to the office desk until they are 70 years old. Let's do the raw math that retail banks pray you never do. If you audit clinically and unemotionally the statement of an average professional in the 2026 economy, you will find they easily have about $280 a month leaking out in useless subscriptions, hidden premium bank account fees, duplicated services that do the same thing, and conveniences they don't consume. $280 evaporating every month. That results in the mark of $3,360, $3,360, leaking down the dirty drain of inertia every single year. If a strategist has the coldness to excise this $280 financial cancer from their budget today and injects that exact amount religiously into a low-cost index fund that replicates the 500 largest companies in the market with a historical conservative average return of 8% a year. In 30 years of military operation in the labor market, do you know how much that harmless little leak will cost your empire at the finish line? Those invisible subscriptions you were too lazy to cancel will cost you the terrifying mark of $415,000 in completely destroyed and unrealized net worth. I demand that you stop what you are doing and face the lethal magnitude of this math. You're literally handing over nearly $500,000 of your generational wealth, the heavy weaponry that would buy your freedom, the money that would pay for the foundation of your children's house or guarantee your untouchable armored old age, in exchange for the privilege of sustaining access to a movie catalog that you spend 40 minutes scrolling through just to close the screen and go to sleep frustrated. Financial inertia is not a harmless state of rest. Inertia is a continuous, aggressive, and violent act of self-destruction of your own future. How do you survive and defeat this silent attack? How do you forcefully take back the reins of your treasury in a digital world that was millimetrically designed to rip away your data and your money while you blink? Doing a friendly and civilized evaluation of your credit card statement on a Sunday, looking at company names and promising yourself that you will try to cancel some of these things on a Monday, is a cowardly tactic doomed to absolute failure. Your brain will come up with 1,000 fake, logical justifications to keep every single subscription active. Human beings have a biological, irrational terror of losing access to anything, even if it is a piece of garbage. Furthermore, tech companies utilize what we call dark patterns of design. They hide the cancel button behind 7 confirmation pages, require you to call a trained representative to emotionally manipulate you, and create labyrinths of fatigue to ensure you abandon the mission halfway through. The only way to purge a parasite of this magnitude is through a tactical nuclear strike. You do not renegotiate with a corporate virus, you obliterate its infrastructure. This is the shock doctrine of the 48-hour financial hard reset. We are going to apply a military and corporate accounting concept known as zero-based budgeting. The war premise of zero-base is that no service, no company, no app, and no subscription has the vested historical right to remain sucking your money month after month through the simple inertia of tradition. Once a year, you fire everyone. Every automatic outflow of your capital is summarily reduced to absolute zero. If a service wants to regain the privilege of accessing your credit card, it will have to go through a brutal screening process and prove its real survival utility from square one. Here is step 1 of your tactical extraction protocol: the digital purge and the scorched earth tactic. You're not going to spend 3 hours of your weekend logging into 15 different websites, trying to remember forgotten passwords to press hidden cancellation buttons. That consumes your tactical energy, and decision fatigue will make you abandon the project. You are going to execute the scorched earth maneuver by cutting the supply bridge. Tonight, you're going to take your primary physical credit card, that piece of plastic tied to 95% of your hidden internet subscriptions and automatic purchases, and you're going to call your bank's customer service center. You will report that card as lost or request its physical and irrevocable cancellation. demanding the immediate issuance of a new card with a completely different front number and security code. But pay attention to this vital detail where amateurs are shot down. You must give an explicit order to the bank operator. The card industry, Visa, MasterCard, possesses a tracking system called the account updater. This system works like a spy, automatically providing your new card number to old recurring subscription vendors to ensure payments are not interrupted. You will expressly order your bank to disable automatic billing updates for your new card. Under no circumstances can they transfer your new data to the old leeches. In that single, simple, lethal 10-minute phone call, you just decapitated the financial oxygen of dozens of parasitic companies all at once. From the moment the operator confirms the cancellation of the old numbering, the faucet of your capital is armored. The invisible leak is over. The movie platform, the premium delivery, the meditation app that only generates anxiety, the abandoned software, all of them will try to attack your account tomorrow in the early hours to renew the monthly fees, and the transaction will be mercilessly denied with a loud, cold payment error. You have taken back absolute control over the borders of your money. The power to dictate who gets in and who gets kicked out of your vault no longer belongs to Silicon Valley's predictive algorithms. The power has returned to the commander's hands. Step 2 of the protocol is where the civilian boy despairs and the strategist laughs in the dark. The 48-hour psychological quarantine. For the next 2 consecutive days, 48 uninterrupted hours from the moment your new card numbering is generated in the app, you are strictly, militarily forbidden from inserting the new data into any existing digital system. Your credit card enters a total state of quarantine. During these 48 hours, you will live your life, your routine, and your nights under the absolute vacuum of subscriptions and digital conveniences. Do you know what will happen inside your brain? You will suffer the real symptoms of chemical withdrawal. On Friday night, you will grab the remote control to turn on your favorite streaming service out of pure, blind, conditioned reflex. Your television screen will freeze and display an aggressive red box. Subscription suspended. Please update your payment method immediately to continue watching. Your subconscious brain will go into a state of panic for a few seconds. Your hand will itch compulsively to grab your wallet off the table, type the 16 new numbers on the screen, and get your digital pacifier back instantly. Your direct command order is, resist. Put the remote down. Sit on the couch in silence and face the discomfort head on. Feel the boredom hit. Feel the absence of chewed-up stimuli. The tactical goal of this quarantine is not to turn you into a hermit or an isolated monk who doesn't consume pop culture. The neurobiological goal is to destroy the automatic neural bridge that connects the boredom impulse to the automatic payment of easy solutions. We are what we consume. The vast, overwhelming majority of things you pay a monthly debit for today are not tools that improve your intellect, your health, or your combat capacity in the market. They are cheap digital anesthetics specifically designed to kill your free time so that you don't have to be alone with your thoughts. And don't have to think about how stagnant your career or your net worth are. By freezing your entire operational environment for 48 hours, you allow the dense fog of inertia to dissipate. The silence forces you to confront the raw, uncomfortable reality that you can survive and even thrive perfectly well without 80% of the useless distractions you were blindly funding. Step 3 of the protocol is the consecration of victory, intentional reconstruction, and the blood test. After the exact passage of the 48 hours of mandatory silence, the quarantine is lifted. Now, and only now, will you begin to reinsert essential services and tools back into your life's logistics. But the rules of the board have completely changed. You will not, under any circumstances, reinsert everything you had activated before. You just reverse the burden of proof and the psychological engineering against the corporations. Before, your life system was opt-out, a model where you had to make an active mental and bureaucratic effort to cancel a recurring debit. As of today, your life system has become opt-in, a fortress model where you have to make an active, intentional, manual effort to allow a service to access your money. You took the burden of labor that weighed on your mind and threw it back at the corporation. From now on, any internet service, subscription, or convenience that knocks on your door demanding your new credit card numbers will have to pass the blood test and the friction matrix. The friction matrix is cold. Does the service in question save vital hours that you will actively use to generate more money? Does the service act directly and without shortcuts to improve your military physical health? If the answer is no, it is already in the danger zone. Then you will apply the blood test. You will look at the pending charge notification for the $25 a month app, and you will ask yourself a single question with brutal honesty. Am I deeply and truly willing to sacrifice an entire hour of my biological life, of my finite oxygen time on Earth, enduring traffic jams, mediocre bosses, and abusive clients, purely and exclusively to fund the shares of this streaming company this month? If the answer coming from your gut is not an absolute, immediate, and non-negotiable yes, the service is permanently banned from your ecosystem. When you apply this doctrine with the scalpel in hand, you will discover, with a smile of superiority on your face, that you don't miss that second series service at all on your Tuesday. That the premium cloud storage you were paying for could be cleaned up by deleting old garbage. That the expensive meal delivery app only served to cover up your laziness and destroy your diet. You will choose to organically and coldly reintegrate only the electricity, the water, the high-speed internet, which is your main modern war tool, and at most, a single, extremely lean source of entertainment and leisure. The entire rest of the phantom empire of subscriptions will remain dead and blocked outside the gates. Through this intense logistical shock of just 48 hours, you didn't just save your $300 of frivolities in an isolated month. You went far beyond that. You physically rewrote your own mental source code of how you relate to the opportunity cost of your sweat. You transmuted an invisible phantom liability that was rotting the root of your retirement into a formidable army of aggressive liquidity. Free, clean, recovered capital that will be mercilessly poured into your wealth protection and stock market investment accounts first thing Monday morning. Your defense is armored, knowing that you are being drained by the subscription economy and feeling fleeting motivation right now does not solve your problem. Tomorrow morning, the corporate machine will try to seduce you again with the illusion of convenience, and your motivation will evaporate in the air. What builds wealth and wins wars is not emotion. It is ruthless doctrine. It was exactly for those who have decided to stop being an invisible victim of the system that I forged our tactical operations manual. It is called The Order of the Day, 365 high-impact actions for your financial sovereignty. This is not an empty self-help book. It is a military execution schedule applied to the defense of your money. You will get the exact mechanical protocols to armor your account and cut lifestyle inflation off at the root. You will learn how to automate your true defense, paying yourself in the stock market before corporations steal your sweat through boredom. You will receive one direct tactical mission a day for an entire year to transform your civilian mind into the calculating mind of an unshakable strategist. Complete access to the Order of the Day manual is unlocked right now. The official enlistment link is nailed into the first line of the description of this video and also pinned at the top of the comments. The financial investment in this manual is purposely negligible. It costs less than a single month of that useless subscription you just purged. But the return it delivers to you is absolute and irrevocable control over your own life. The choice is pure math. Keep bleeding in the dark like an anesthetized civilian, paying other people's bills on autopilot, or take command of your operation once and for all. The ammo is loaded right down there. Keep your perimeter locked, your discipline cold, and your freedom non-negotiable. I am Buck. Instruction ends here.